Did that just happen? Oh my goodness! We did it! 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 We did it to Mythic! Hey guys, how you doing? It is Death Harem here, and today I'm going to be doing a review on Delina Wild Mage. Specifically, I want to talk to you about the journey of taking her from, or basically crafting a deck and trying to take her to Mythic. So I got to Mythic Rank. I only just got her in with 4 days to spare, and it wasn't easy. Alright, so now quick intro to Delina. Now, Delina is a 3/2 creature, and one of the really cool effects is that when you use her, when she attacks, you get to roll a dice, and when you roll that dice, it creates multiple versions of a creature that you might choose. And so, for instance, if you're playing it with the Terror of the Peaks, every time Delina attacks, you're going to get multiple clones of the Terror of the Peaks coming into play, triggering multiple enter the battlefield effects, and you basically get to do insane damage. Say for instance you get Delina down in your 3rd turn, and in your 4th turn you drop down the Terror of the Peaks. Now when you attack, at a minimum you're going to be doing 13 damage. Get a few lucky rolls and suddenly on your 3rd turn you could be doing 48 damage, you could be doing 73 damage or more. Now you pack that in with a barbarian class as well, or something that helps you improve your chances, and you could up your probability of doing an insane amount of damage very, very quickly. Now if you don't think that the 25% procs very much, you're wrong. It procs a lot more than you think. I've got tons of clips of this happening just over and over again, even without a barbarian class. A handful of procs is all you need, and you just dish out the pain. And because the procs happen after you roll, you can decide what you want to do with it. You can either direct it to remove creatures on the board, or you can send it across and just outright kill them. Now another really cool combo that we discovered on the way was actually Fynn. Fynn actually works really well with Delina. Because when Fynn goes over, he puts a poison counter, and with 5 poison counters you win the game. But what makes Fynn also really interesting is with the death touch, it makes it really hard to block, because if you really desperately need to clear the board, you can pretty much send Fynn over and multiple copies of Fynn, and the choices are to lose everything they have on the board, or they can die. So they have to block Fynn, and Fynn being 2 mana gets out really easily. You can get Fynn out before Delina for a bit of blocking, and then you drop down Delina, and suddenly the game has just changed. Now with Fynn, it has the added advantage that you don't really need it to proc that much. Just a handful of procs and it's going to win the game. I've got some talking notes today, which I'm going to go through with you, just so you can kind of think about how you want to fit her in. Now Delina is a great card to consider building a deck around, because she's going to be around for a bit, right? She's a new release, so you can expect her to be around for another year. And I think a lot of people are going to look at Delina as an option going forward, maybe after seeing this video. So what's really cool about her, apart from the fact that she's going to be around, I think a lot of people are playing her in commander style decks on paper, obviously old school. But I think she could be played competitively, at least enough to get to Mythic with, right? And sometimes, like, this is one of the best things about Magic, is that it's not a pay to win game. So you can actually just make all sorts of fun things and try to rank with it, and have a lot of fun at the same time. So what I want to do is I want to just quickly show you, like, I've had a few versions. I've had Delina D20 versions, just little random versions, and then eventually I settled on this version of it. And I'm going to actually just show you the final version. So I've marked it with M, and I marked it with M because it means that I made it to Mythic with that deck. I've got another Mythic deck as well, which I want to show you guys on a different video, but today I'm just going to go through the one that I used to get to Mythic with. This is the final version, and essentially it's a Burnem Delina. So the idea is to clear the board, and try to do as much damage as you can. I want to show you guys, like, within a handful of turns, you can output a crazy amount of damage. I mean, on your 4th turn, if you get a good draw, so let's talk about Dream Draw here. On the 2nd turn, you put down an Ilsian Caryatid for an extra piece of mana to ramp up a little bit on your, so that, you know, maybe your turn 2 or your turn 3. On turn 4, you drop down Delina, and then on turn 5, you basically, hold on, turn 1, turn 2 down, turn 2 is Caryatid, turn 3 Delina comes down, and then on turn 4 you just win for an insane amount of damage, right? So you can do something like 70-80 points of damage if you get really lucky with your rolls. So yeah, huge potential in damage, huge winning potential. And if I want to talk about sort of and that sort of makes it fun, right? Because you get this crazy draw. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the playstyle, right? So with Delina, you got a couple of real options here. Like, we'll talk about I mean, the fun versions, you can do just about anything you want. But when you get down to the business end of it, like say you're getting up to the top of diamond, it starts getting really competitive. And I think there's really a handful of styles that's going to get you across the line. The first play style I would kind of suggest is playing her as a bit of a surprise card, because people don't expect Delina to pop down. So say for instance you get Fynn down first, right? Then suddenly Delina's down, and then you're able to do that insane combo. And I actually played it this way for quite a while, and the big piece I was playing in there to make that work was haste. So we had barbarian class, which you can drop down to give you haste. You've got the drawbridge, so you've got barbarian class. You've got barbarian class, right, which is just amazing, right? You drop barbarian class down, you max it down to haste, which is, you know, which is your 3rd turn essentially. First turn you drop down barbarian class, 2nd turn you upgrade it to get +2/+0, and 3rd turn, boom, you upgrade it to haste, and then on your 4th turn down comes Delina and she goes across. But I even succeeded doing it with class cards like the Menacing Ogre. Oh, sorry, Ogre Battle Driver. So Battle Driver was kind of a nice card to do that with as well. I'm gonna move my face away. Okay. So Battle Driver is a pretty good card to do this with, because suddenly she's down, and not only she's down, she's coming around for a lot, and when she procs, it's huge, right? Because they're all getting +2/+2. So Battle Driver is a nice, great combo for that haste playstyle. And then surprisingly, this was just so much fun. This actually worked really, really well. The Crashing Drawbridge worked super well, because if you're up against some early weenie pressure, say you're up against mono red, the Crashing Drawbridge just helps you take a little bit of damage away, and essentially it's only 2 mana, so you can get it down pretty early. You never really have to beef up your barbarian class to make this work. And Crashing Drawbridge drops down. Suddenly on the 4th turn comes down Delina and she's coming across. But even better yet, right? Once you get something like Crashing Drawbridge down, then you put down Fynn, for instance. So Crashing Drawbridge comes down, Fynn comes down straight after that. That sort of takes the heat away. They're not coming over quite as much. Then the very turn after, Delina comes down and Fynn is coming over with 4 or 5 versions of Fynn all of a sudden, all in one hit, and you can just straight up win with that sort of combo. Similarly, you can pop down Terror the Peaks first, and everyone's looking at that going, oh gee, that's not good, Terror Peaks down. I'm gonna have to think about how to remove him. And while they're working out how to remove Terror the Peaks, the very turn after that, Delina comes down and instantly, yeah, 5 Terror the Peaks coming over straight away. So I really like that playstyle where it's haste based, it's a surprise attack, surprise, Delina's here, punch, dead. And that actually worked so nicely. I had so many fun games playing that way. The other way to play her is to play her protectively, like you can kind of protect her. And I had a few cards, I tried her with red and black, and with that version you would play cards like oops. Professor's Warning, right, was a great option. It just means that you can send her over. She's indestructible, so even if they've got blockers for her, she's going to be fine. You're going to get all the procs and you get to do it all over again. And obviously you have other cards that give you the same sort of ability. I personally love Professor's Warning because it's just 1 black, which means you can do this on your 5th turn. You can bring down Delina with haste, send her over, and still be able to protect her with just 1 spare black. You know, with instants, you want it to be cheap. Instants are just amazing, and this is just 1 amazing cheap instant. And sometimes you get to put the +1/+1 counter on as well. If they're just trying to go for a block, it's a bit of a gamble. I personally like using indestructible. It just keeps it safe. But you get options. You get options with that. And what other things can I tell you? So protective is that way, and another way to protect her, you can play this, which Ranger's Guile, or Snakeskin's Veil, or you play both, which is a lot, and they're all one green, so that kind of protects you from all the zaps. And another card obviously to consider playing is Heroic Intervention, which if you're playing green, you've got every chance of casting this instant because you tend to have a bit more mana if you've got a bit of ramp going on. So Heroic Intervention is an amazing way to just kind of keep her alive. What else is there to talk about? Okay, and the style that I settled for, right? The style I settled for right at the very end. I kind of played the protected version, I kind of played the surprise version, I kind of played a combination of both. But the version I ultimately had to use to get across the line was this Burnem version, just for that last, going from Diamond through to Mythic. It was just too hard. The meta was something I had to deal with, and so I ended up playing this Burnem version, which I think is a little bit too slow still, and there's a lot of room for improvement. One of the reasons is I'm missing some cards, and so this is the best I can do, if you will. But this is the deck I ended up settling on. Lots of creature removal, shocks, Bone Crusher Giant just to deal with some of the early clerics. Some to deal with some red aggro when you do occasionally run into them, just to try survive it a bit. Bone Crusher, obviously, it's a no-brainer card. I mean, how good is Bone Crusher? I love Bone Crusher because it's also a 4/3, which means that it powers the Illusion Cartid, and with to get the extra 2 mana, and that extra 2 mana is all the difference between whether you can get the Terror the Peaks down or not sometimes. So, you know, having that is amazing, because Delina by herself doesn't have enough to trigger Illusion. She's just a 3/2. But Fynn is another great card because you can use him defensively, but he powers the Devouring Tendrils, he powers the Rabid Bite, he powers the Ram Through, and similarly, but Bone Crusher also powers those. So the synergy there works really nicely. And then of course, when Fynn gets a multi-trigger, it is just insane, right? So it works so well. Brash Taunter I just packed 1 because it's the only one I had. And Brash Taunter is amazing for, well, he comes a bit late for to be used defensively, but certainly sometimes you need a little bit to punch over. And in fact, the very last game I play from the very top of Diamond 1 into Mythic was ultimately won by Brash Taunter. The majority of the damage was done by Delina, and the last bit was done by Brash Taunter. I'll show you that game in a moment. It was pretty cool. So yeah, now let's talk very specifically about Delina. So Delina, there's lots of pros about playing Delina. So she's actually quite inexpensive. I mean, 4/3 for so 4 mana essentially for 3/2. But you got to really consider she's not really a 3/2, right? Because when she does attack from a damage potential, even if it's just Delina by herself, if you get a single proc, it's already 6 damage. And if you run the numbers on it without any dice roll modification, so without Barbarian class and without Pixie Guide, you know, she's actually slated to do about 7 damage, right? She's likely to come across and do 7 damage. With barbarian class, just upgraded once, it's 10 damage. And with 1 red means that she's going to fit into a lot of decks because just her multicolor flexibility is amazing. And then of course the versatility of Delina, because basically she's gonna work nicely with any creature that has enter the battlefield effects. So for instance, if you're playing even just something like, right, you play the Lano Visionary for a little bit of mana, and you bring down Delina and you proc Delina a few times, that's cards you're drawing. So she has a lot of potential for synergy. You can play her so many ways. You know, another card that works really nicely with Delina is the Massacre Wurm, because that's essentially a board clear right here, right? She just needs to proc once, and all his creatures get -4/-4 till the end of turn. Procs twice, it's -6/-6. You're clearing the board, and it's really good against skewed swarm decks. Even when they get the greenhorn combo down, you bring down Massacre Wurm, you go over once with it, and you know it happens straight away. Kogla is a great option. So yeah, very versatile, just a brick ton of fun. Now the minuses is ultimately Delina is so squishy. She is really hard to protect. I mean, she's in shock range. You can't use her to block because just about everything kills her. She's just weak, which is why I liked playing her protectively. I never really when I played her protectively, I didn't bring her down unless I had a Professor's Warning in my hand. Or Hexproof in my hand, just ready to defend her. And in all those situations, the moment the Hexproof is out or Professor's Warning is out, it's, you know, they just concede on the other side. So it's pretty cool. What else do you have? Okay, and she is hard to draw. So the one challenge of playing with Delina is, I mean, unless you're playing her with red-blue, which I haven't actually tried and I do want to try. I'm actually going to make one version of her with red and blue with the last few days and just play with it and see how we go. But she is hard to draw. There's only 4 of her, and if the whole deck's built around whether you have Delina or not, yeah, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. It's hard to make a competitive deck with her. Which is ultimately why I settled with this version, because Fynn works nicely with the shocks and the creature removals. You just remove, and Fynn goes over. And I've won quite a number of games with just Fynn and creature removal. I've won a bunch of games with Rampant, Smasher, and creature removal. I've won a few games with Terror the Peaks and creature removal. And then of course Terror the Peaks works nicely with Rampant Smasher, and Terror the Peaks works nicely with everyone. Basically, it works nicely with everyone, and it just keeps that theme of creature removal. Just blast everything away and go over and punch. So we've got over here just kind of like the ranking history. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Yeah. Right. So hopefully you're looking at this screen. And I kind of want to talk to you about the matchups that you're going to run into with the Delina sort of focus deck. Let me just control this a little bit. All right. Great. I'm going to publish the link to my profile here so you have my deck and you can kind of copy it. I want you to bear in mind that I just quite simply don't have the best deck here at all. I mean, I'm playing cards like Devouring Tendrils where I could be playing Blizzard Brawl. It's just simply because I don't have Blizzard Brawl. It's a very new account. I've only really just got back into playing Magic for the first time in a very, very long time. So, you know, feel free to substitute whatever you need, but you get the rough idea from this deck. But even this was enough to get to Mythic, right? So here we are. This is my one game in Mythic, and it's a 56% win rate. So you can kind of see 46 games to 36 games. And while we're looking at the stats, we might as well just talk about a couple of things here. You'll notice that this is on play win deck, so you kind of need the initiative right? You need the initiative in this, and hopefully 50% of the time you get to be on play. And when that happens, you really need to maximize it. So I have a 60% win rate just about on play. I think it's higher than that. This is pretty stompy. You'll stomp your whole way through with this deck right up to diamond. It'll just be punch, 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 and it'll be ruffle stomp the whole way right into diamond, and then it's when it starts getting hairy. And looking at the matchups, it does pretty good against your green blacks. It does pretty good against your white blacks, but it doesn't do good against control and creature removal, as you can expect, because you're pretty much dependent on one card, right? You're quite dependent on getting a creature combo deck, and this sort of stuff is really good at protecting against it. Black is difficult, especially if they pack a lot of creature removal, which this happens to me a lot, and you can see the win rate on black is just really, really, really low. But it's pretty good. It holds its own against your healers. It's definitely good against just straight up green, because you're not worried about creature removal, and you can play a lot more aggressively. So that's where you get a lot of your wins from. If anyone's not playing creature removals, you just, the moment you've got confidence that creature removal is not there, you should just be as aggressive as you can, because you're probably going to ruffle stomp that hand, that deck. Okay, so just kind of looking at history, most games are pretty quick. You just kind of, it's not a super long game. It can go for a little bit. And as you can see, I ultimately had to make a couple of changes to get in shock, and just be a little bit more heavy on creature removal, because we were losing a fair bit to creatures like the poison deck was a bit strong against us, and with creature removal not so much of a problem. What else is there? What else can I tell you about here? So yeah, control is a problem. Creature removal is your problem. If they don't have it, you're pretty much off to the races, and you've got a really good chance. I think I lost to mono red aggro, really aggressive mono red aggro, quite a few times. But other than that, it's doable. It's doable. You can definitely get to Mythic with this deck. You can definitely get to Mythic with this deck. Now onto something fun. I'm gonna show you the last game I played. I was on the top of Diamond 1, and this was the game I played to get across to Mythic. Here we go. Let's focus. Let's focus. No hard attacks now. Alright. Delina. Focus. He's got no instants. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. No instant. This is a good thing. Next. All attack. We're going all in. 6 damage. Okay, give us something decent. Terror the Peaks would be good. Oh please, 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 please. Why do I get it back? Is it a new draw? Go, 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 go. Go, 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 please, 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 please. He's not packing creature removal. This is a good thing. We got a chance. We got a chance. We got a chance. We've got a chance. Alright. We remove that and go. We remove that and go. We go. Rolls! Rolls! Where's my gloves? Where's my gloves? We're so close. We're so close. Give me a rampant smasher now. Give me a rampant smasher now, please. Give me a Terror the Peaks. Give me anything. Oh no. Fresh Taunter? It is indestructible. Draw a card. Creature or Planeswalker. All attack him. Delina. Delina, come on, Delina. Oh my gosh, this is so close. He's got 2 of them. Do we go over and take a roll? Do we go over and take a roll? Well, I mean, we're guaranteed 3 damage next turn, but he's gonna kill it, so we're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. Please, please, please. Yes! Yes! Delina, please. Oh, Delina, please. Oh, Delina, please. Oh, Delina, please. Oh, Delina, please. Oh my goodness. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please. Maybe I should have gone for Guru. I wouldn't have done 7 damage. I didn't do 7 damage. I only did 2, really. Oh no! No! Okay, okay, I can kind of slowly chunk him away here. Okay, so that's 2 damage. And I get to do 2 more, and it's my turn. Alright, so I just can't let him gain life. Okay, he mustn't gain life. No attacks. I mustn't kill anything. I mustn't kill anything. Oh no. I do 6 damage. What? What happened? No, it's still my turn? Oh no, this is so close, I can't. Oh, this is so close. Whenever you gain life, opponent loses a life. I can do... Okay, okay, this is good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is so close. This is so close. Oh, oh, that's good. Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Did that just happen? Oh my goodness! We did it! 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 Okay, so that's my review of Delina. I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see me make other decks, if you got a card that you want me to try to build around and go to Mythic with it, you know, pop it into the comments, let me know, because I'm looking for ideas. I'm looking for cards that are a little bit more obscure. Oh, speaking of obscurity, that's what makes Delina fun, right? Because if you go look up here and you go back to Untapped GG, for instance, right? And you do a bit of find a search. Like, you can look at so many decks out there, right? There's so many decks for you to pick from. And, you know, if you went, who's playing Bone Crusher? I mean, who isn't, right? Who isn't playing Bone Crusher? Look at this. Look at this. Look at Delina. Who's playing Delina? Nobody. Nobody's playing Delina. And that's what makes playing Delina fun, right? Just playing out of the meta and trying to get in. I mean, of course, a lot of people are playing Guru, okay? So a lot of people are playing Guru. But Delina makes it challenging. She really does. And it makes it fun because, you know, you can always build decks to just rank in. And that's the easy bit. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to shut up round about now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, in the comments, please let me know if there's a card you want me to try to build around and take to Mythic on. Hopefully I've got that card. I'm going to give it a shot. The rules on my account is I'm not going to spend any money on it, so everything's got to be earned organically, which means it's something you can do without spending any money. So that's really important. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh, and of course, I appreciate the subs and the follows, particularly on Twitch. I've only just started streaming for the first time, so if you're on Twitch at all, please follow me. I'm trying to get some followers. It'd be fun to have some interaction. So, and if you got any questions around it, if you want me to play any specific decks, jump onto Twitch and talk to me, and it'll be fun to meet you guys there. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna end the video here. Hope you guys have fun. I'm gonna make sure there's a link to my deck on Untapped so that you guys can follow it and try to build your own version of it. It's pretty good. It's a lot of fun. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Death Harem out.